presented by Jeep, continues right now on ABC Action News Now.
And welcome back to the season premiere of The Plank. John Sable alongside Laura Harris filling in for Tom Korn. We've been talking a lot about the Buccaneers' bad loss yesterday. It is only game one, folks. Only game one. A lot can change. Still got one down and 15 more to go.
Yeah, and you got a lot of people on Twitter and Facebook who had a lot of bad things to say. But I will say this. I think everybody was expecting something huge.
Because it was a big letdown because you had such a historic matchup between the quarterbacks and all the anticipation going in with Jameis Winston, too.
So I think that was part of the problem. I also think Jameis Winston he looked a bit rattled from jump. I mean, you throw a pick six, that has to be the worst thing ever, and you have to come back from that.
And you know what else? That wouldn't be good for any fantasy football team, too, if anybody played Jameis Winston, which I believe, hopefully you didn't because rookie quarterback, first game of the season, not very good. Now, we can help you manage your fantasy football teams, and back by popular demand, our fantasy football guru, Matt McGuire. Hey, Matt.
Hey, John, thanks a lot. And what we're going to be doing here this week and every week for the season on Mondays is taking a look at the early waiver wire and a couple guys that you might want to add. Now, let's start with Tampa Bay and Austin Seferian-Jenkins. He's a rookie's quarterback's best friend, a pass-catching tight end. Now, he's battled injuries the last couple seasons, but if you look at his game last week when he was healthy, 5 catches, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Keep in mind, though, Mike Evans wasn't on the field for the Bucs, so when Evans does come back, Winston's going to be looking his way a lot, too. That being said, though, Seferian-Jenkins is available in 42% of the leagues out there. Another tight end I like is Jordan Reed for the Washington Redskins. Now, he's very athletic and has some injury problems, too, but when he is healthy and when Kirk Cousins is the QB for the Washington Redskins, I really like Reed's production. 7 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown. He's available in 45% of the leagues. Now, the next player, this is my favorite ad for the week. He's available in 90% of the leagues right now, and that's Donte Moncrief, the wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts. When you look at the Colts wide receivers, you've got T.Y. Hilton, Andre Johnson, and Moncrief. Now, Hilton's hurt, and Johnson's new to the team, not quite on the same page yet with Andrew Luck. That tells me that Moncrief's going to see plenty of targets. And in week 1, 6 catches, 46 yards, and a touchdown proves that. Another guy you might want to look at is David Johnson. And you might be asking yourself, why add a running back who didn't get a single carry this week? Well, he's more of a pick and stash type of player. If you look at the running back situation for the Arizona Cardinals, Andre Ellington, their starter, got hurt last week. Chris Johnson's their backup, but he's been ineffective the last few years. I really like David Thompson as an explosive rookie running back. If you look at the only play he had 1 catch for 55 yards, and he pretty much blew past the entire New Orleans Saints defense on that play. Now, one more player I want to talk about is Nate Washington. I've seen a lot of talk out there about people looking to add him after his huge week in week 1, where he had 6 catches and 105 yards. The reason why I'm not so sure yet on Nate Washington, all that production came from when Brian Hoyer was the quarterback for the Texans. Now, the Texans benched Hoyer towards the end of the game and came in with Ryan Mallett. When Mallett was in the game, there wasn't a single catch made by Nate Washington. So I'd wait on a formal announcement from the Texans as who's going to be their quarterback. And that's all I've got this week. Let's go back to Laura and John, and I hope you won't need any of these guys because your team did great.
Well, actually, you know, Matt, you and I were talking about before the show, I'm about to lose this week in fantasy football because all my players are done playing for the week, except the team that I'm playing has someone's still playing on their roster. It's playing in the Monday night game tonight.
Carlos Hyde.
Carlos Hyde, that's right.
Yes.
We did talk about Carlos Hyde. So I'm winning by 4 points. He's guaranteed to get 4 points unless he gets injured on the first play.
Starting running backs, if they don't get 4 points, there was definitely a problem.
Yeah. So, well, Matt, thanks a lot. We'll check in with you next week.
Thanks a lot.
All right, now each week on The Plank, we'll be featuring the Ace Hardware Tailgate of the Week. Now, we want to see your best pictures, maybe even some video from your popular tailgate place.
We would love to see them, whether you're prepping a feast for the game, decking yourself out in the gear, or performing your pregame ritual. We want you to share those pictures with us. So here's how you can get in on the action. Tweet us your tailgating photos using hashtag #ThePlank. You can also hit us up on Facebook. We're at abcactionnews.com/Facebook. Again, we're looking for your fun, cool pictures. Keep them clean. Some of them I saw last night. I was a little worried.
Yes, we snapped this picture near $1. Fans pre-gaming with some delicious food. This very happy fan with a plate full of barbecue all cooked up. Looks good.
Yes, here's another couple. Hopefully they're coming up. Rowdy fans. Look at them. Just camped out, ready to go, shades on, because the sun actually did come out yesterday.
It didn't look good because it rained early on.
Brews in hand, they were good to go.
And among all the fans flooding Ray J yesterday, lots of families spending the time together tailgating in the backyards or maybe in the parking lot. Still a lot of good pictures there. We want to see more of your pictures. go ahead and tweet those at us throughout the week. All right, now we do have a phone call coming in here from a very frustrated fan. This is a young man who we've heard from last year, one of our most avid listeners. Is this our favorite caller from Newport Richie?
You got it, guys. Glad to be back.
Is this Jim?
Yes, it is.
Oh, see, Laura,
what's up, Jim?
That voice, it's like when you have an avid fan like that, always calls in every single week, it's hard not to.
It's like you have ESPN or something.
Right, exactly, yeah. So what was your take on that first game, Jim?
I think I'm not a big Winston fan. Like I said last year, I thought we should have gone after Mariota, but when you let Mariota take the opening kickoff, march down the field, just slice up that secondary like it was butter. You can't throw that on Winston's shoulders. I mean, he wasn't even on the field at the time. So,
yeah.
If you look at some of the other great quarterbacks we have, Peyton Manning, his first season as a rookie, he was god awful. So, let's not beat up on Winston too bad. Give him some time. But that secondary, they need to do something. Otherwise, we're just going to be sliced up like there's no tomorrow. It's just that bad. The defensive line, I thought, did pretty good. Surprisingly, the offensive line kind of held their own a little bit. So, the muscle, the muscle mouse there was running really good. Doug Martin, I thought he did really well. So, there's some hope there. I'm going to hold it out for 3 more games. Personally, I'm going to be going to the All-Star Ring of Honor game, so I hope they don't embarrass us at that time. What do you think?
But Jim, to your point, we were just talking to Felicia Burton, which is one of the people out in the newsroom right now, and she was saying, this is the first game of the season. Wait a minute, everybody, slow down. Because John Staple and I were just talking about this, but there was a very special quarterback who threw a pick six, his very first go of it when he was a professional quarterback.
Which is interesting. And Jim, I don't know if you know this. Laura, I think I told you this earlier. Actually, you told me this earlier, too. Winston's the first player to throw a pick six on his first NFL pass since Brett Favre back in '91, and that turned out well.
I would say so.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So, let's not throw it, put everything on the boys' shoulders just yet. Let's give him some chance.
Yeah, and I the one thing, he had a great attitude after the game. He took the loss, blamed himself, even though it wasn't all his fault, and he knows he has to improve, and I think he will do that. But still, for fans, it was a little disappointing. Jim, thanks for the phone call. Hopefully we can hear from you throughout the season.
Oh, no doubt, guys. I'll be right here with you.
All right, thanks, Jim. Now this is the point in the show where we now give you who is walking the plank in Week 1. Without further ado, who is it going to be? Could be Lovie Smith. We'll see. Laura, who do you think?
If I had to pick somebody, I would say the entire offensive line. I know they can't all go, but that's who I would put out there.
We'll see when we return.